Hello once again, my YouTube friends. Since you know me, I'm always at doing something, either cooking or fixing computers and laptops, or playing my congas. That's my three things: computers, congas, and cooking. Computers, cooking, and congas. And since I learned from YouTube, so I like to also share my experiences so that other people may also learn without having to pay anybody. This for sharing, to economize, to make money. If you're handy and you know how to use your hands, you can make money refurbishing laptops and desktops, cell phones, tablets, all that. It's the same thing. It's just in a smaller scale. It's a smaller chip, and the components are smaller, but it's the same thing. So some people are agile with small stuff. So if you're agile and you could do it, take a crack at it and make some money. Well, anyway, what I wanted to get at was that I picked up this laptop, this one right here, in the thrift shop yesterday, and I was having a hard time with it because it was throwing a lot of heat, and it wasn't downloading right. It wasn't taking the Windows. I was trying to load Windows to it, and it wasn't doing it. It was doing it, but it was going slow, and it was working like funny. It wasn't working right. It was working real slow, and I don't know. It was working like it would freeze up, and I was like that till about 4 o'clock in the morning with it, because I downloaded some software, some CD burning software, and I loaded up some other software from Microsoft Word, and when I downloaded that, it went all haywire, the laptop. So to make a long story short, what I did was I went to I opened it up. I heard something rattling in there. So, I couldn't take it no more, and I said, I'm going to open this laptop up. I didn't want to because the chip is all the way in the bottom of the motherboard. It's not on the top of the motherboard. So you have to take the motherboard out completely. After you take this top over here, sometimes the chip is right here, right underneath here. So once you take off this top cover and this top bezel, you can get to the chip. But this one, I had to take off the top bezel. I had to take off the keyboard, and I had to take out the motherboard, and the chip it's underneath. I'm giving you an example. So yesterday I heard some rattling inside there, and I was saying there's something loose in there. I don't know what it was. So that's another reason why I wanted to open it up. So when I tried to get the internet on it, it wouldn't load. It wouldn't load the Ethernet. It wouldn't load the drivers. It kept saying that there was no connection, that the wire was not connected. So anyway, when I opened it up, there was a chip like this one right here. See this chip right here? This chip controls the Ethernet. Or one similar like this. It was controlling the Ethernet cable. This one doesn't have it here because it's different. This is a different motherboard. But the chip was like this one, and this does control the Ethernet, because if you come to look at it, you see, This is the Ethernet on this board. And this is the Ethernet integrated chip controller. This is an integrated chip. So they're hard to weld on there. But it was different. The pins were like these. The pins were like these pins. They were more protruded, or more like that. They wasn't so hidden like these. If it was like this one, it probably would have never came out. But the pins were just sitting on top of the solder, I guess, and it was overheating so much that the chip came out. So I started trying to figure out which way to put the chip. See, this shows you a dot. So you know you could align it to this dot. Over here there's two dots. The dots align with the dot. But the other one didn't have a dot. It had a different... It had the dot here, but it had like a plus. So it was different. But anyway, I figured it out. I aligned it to whatever it was there, to the other one, whatever mark it was. And a dot, and there's another dot to the motherboard, and that aligns the chip. Because if you put it in the other way, then it won't work. I don't think you'll burn it. You'll burn the motherboard. It's just the chip won't work. Because the motherboard, everything was working on the motherboard. Everything was working fine, except that the Ethernet controller wasn't working. The Ethernet, this was not working. So anyway, to make a long story short, I took it out. I mean, I resoldered it. I resoldered it. I calmly did it, and I resoldered it back on in there. I cleaned it. I put flux. I did it how the guy on YouTube showed me how to do it, and it worked perfect. And now the Ethernet is working. See, right now she's downloading some updates. So, see, I picked this up in the thrift shop for $29. So I know I can get $150 for it at least, because I put in, it didn't have no hard drive, and this comes with an original 120 gig hard drive and 1 gig of memory. I put 2 gigs of memory and a 250 gig hard drive into this machine. The machine is working fast now. It's working beautiful. She's working the way I like for a laptop or computer to work, to respond quickly. And now she's responding quickly. I picked up a Windows 7 install on eBay for like 60 or something bucks or something like that. And I put it in. And but I only paid like $25 for it. $29 for it. The machine is working good now. This used to be a Vista machine. Now it's a Windows 7 home premium machine. Now I also took out the chip. This one. From this computer, the main chip, and I put some of this. I took out a square of this. I put some thermal paste on it because I don't have no copper. If I had copper, I use what I got. That'll cool it off better anyway than what it was. So I put a piece underneath there, and I put a piece underneath the video chip. I put cream on the video chip, and I put a cream or thermal compound on both of them. I put it on a cooling pad. It doesn't even need the cooling pad. It's running smooth. It's running on. It's running cool. Oh, and it had like a lot of. It had like a cotton in here, inside, like in the back of it, in the back of this fan grill. It had like a blanket like a fireman cat has, and dust that built up there. but fine, not long cat hairs, but you could tell they came from like some kind of animal, something like fleece, but very fine. So I took all that out. I cleaned the fins of the fan in here from in this machine. I didn't video it because I was too stressed out to do videos and do that at the same time. I wouldn't have been able to concentrate. So I did all that. So I know the machine is good for another couple of years because